What up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Matt White, and today I'm going to talk about the first episode of the season 2 premiere called Invincible. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of the first season of Invincible. It became my favorite superhero show on TV, in my opinion, because I love how unique the story was. I love Mark's character, voiced by Stephen Yeun, who worked on The Walking Dead with Robert Kirkman, which for those of you who don't know, that the showrunner Robert Kirkman worked on the show of The Walking Dead as the executive producer, and if I remember correctly, you can guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that he was the same guy that written the comic book series of Invincible, which that was based on the comic book run, and for them to adapt it into a show in a 2D animation was interesting. I mean, I still wish that they would have done it in a live action, but you know what? It's the way that they did the scope and the scale feels way too expensive to make. And I've heard that they were going to plan on doing a live action Invincible. I don't know if that's confirmed that they're going to do it, so don't quote me on it. But I love season one so much. I mean, the first season came out 2 years ago, and I fell in love with it by the first episode. And every episode had every mid-credit scene to set up for what's to come. And I love how the story went. I love that Mark was trying to live up his father's potential, who is voiced by J.K. Simmons, and he's playing Omni-Man, who is their world's greatest superhero. He was their Superman. And by the time you get to the end of the finale, you start to find out what Omni-Man's true intentions were and why he killed the Guardians, the team of superheroes that fought along his side for years. And because when you watch that end of that premiere of the first episode, it shocked me, like how much he just goes on a murder spree. And I still didn't understand why he killed him in the first place. By the time you get to the end of the finale, he starts to confess to Mark what his true intentions are. That he's not here to save the world. He's not here to become a superhero. He's here to conquer the planet and bring the Viltrumites onto Earth. And he wants his son Mark to join by his side because he's half-breed, nearly full-blooded Viltrumite. After hearing his true intentions, Mark refuses and he goes against him, and they have a big brawl out fight. That fight was absolutely insane. I mean, I know I'm going in a little bit too much in the season one, but I just wanted to just tell you that I thought season one was absolutely amazing. It was an emotional roller coaster ride from beginning to end. And I was just surprised that this show took a little bit too long for this second season to get made. I mean, from what I've heard, that they were filming season 2 and 3 at the same time, which I thought it was a smart move. I feel like that they didn't needed to have us wait that long, especially with the animation. It's a 2D animation. It's not that expensive show to make. They can literally record their dialogue in the recording booth and get that done. But you know what? It is what it is. But after 2 years of long wait, the season 2 premiere of Invincible delivers. It felt like we never left. It felt like we just picked up where we left off, and it's supposed to be a time jump a month later after the events of season 1. And I'm going to give you a recap of what went on in season 2. So if you have not been caught up on Invincible yet and you have not seen the season 2 premiere, best assured is get off of it right now, go and watch the first episode, and then come back later after you're done and after you're caught up on the season 1 and 2, because they definitely go into a little bit of a recap of season 1 and what happened. And I'm glad that they did a recap, because I didn't want to go back and revisit the first season again, because I've already watched it multiple times, and I haven't watched season 1 in a while, and I'm glad they did a recap. So I'm going to give you a recap of what went down in season 2, episode 1. And this is going to be a spoiler territory in case you don't know. It's a spoiler warning. On a devastating alternate Earth where Mark's sided with Nolan, scientist Eggstrom Levy escapes through a mysterious portal 1 month after Nolan's departure. Mark continues to struggle with his father's betrayal while performing his duties as Invincible. Ciso appoints the revived Immortal to succeed Rudy as the Guardians' leader and adds a new hero called Bulletproof to their ranks. The Maulers escape prison with help from their version of Eggstrom, who tasked them with building a device capable of transferring the memories of various alternate universe variants of himself to him so he can use their collective knowledge to advance Earth's technology and save other planets. Ciso sends Mark to stop the Maulers as they begin the process, forcing Eggstrom to use his multiversal powers to summon variants of the Maulers, who nearly kill Mark against his wishes. Eggstrom stops the transfer prematurely, killing all the variants present and horrifically scarring his body, driven mad by his variants' memories of their versions of Invincible and Omni-Man. Eggstrom vows revenge on Mark and escapes. This to me, this episode was absolutely crazy. I love that we still continue to struggle with Mark after the betrayal of his own father, and he still wants to go out in the field to take his mind off of things because Cecil refuses to put him out in the field because psychologically mentally he's not ready to go out in the field. He still is angry and he still feels guilt and he's not in the right head to go out in the field. He wants him to go to school and be a teenager and live a life until he's ready to go out in the field, but Mark refuses and he wants to go as against his wishes. And that performance itself was so good, and we still see the mother, Mark's mom, going through her struggle as well. She felt betrayed by her husband. She felt like she got played after for the past 20 years of marriage. And hearing from Ami Man saying that she was just a pet to her, she still is feeling angry and sad. And I love that they continue that struggle and struggle with the whole aftermath. I love that the new D-list Guardians, they're still struggling of teamwork. We see Robot Man is still struggling, try to get used to this human body that it has now possessed. And because now he's wearing a robot suit and he's going out in the field for real. And he's obviously not ready to go out in the field because he was also used to using a remote control, but not actually physically going out there. And the shapeshifter character, which I can't remember her name, I love that she was able to help him get through this and help him get used to this human physical form that he's not used to, because all of his life he's had it full of disfigure and he could not physically capable of doing anything, but his mind is the only true power that he possessed. And I love that character. The Maulers, I love how they were able to work together to this new character, Eggstrom, who has the ability to open the portals from other dimensions. Because the first 5 minutes of the episode, we open to where Mark is now teaming up with his father, Omni Man, where he embraces being a villager might and he's conquering the planet and he kills off a lot of the Guardians. And seeing that a slaughter was very brutal and very graphic. Again, the showrunner did not shy away from the blood and gore and how graphic it was, and there's a lot of limbs being chopped off, especially that fight in the beginning with Mark and Immortal was very brutal. Then we see the fucking Omni Man just flies through and just chops up all of his limbs, then Mark just crushes his head and exploded in a million pieces. That was brutal. At first, I thought this was like in taking place in an alternate future, but apparently this is taking place in an alternate reality when we find out the new character Extron, played by Shirley Kane. I think that's what his name is. And in case you don't know who that actor is, he's the same actor that was in the hit show on NBC, a family drama called This Is Us. And I think he's a very talented actor. I remember him making an appearance in the Supernatural show. He appeared at least, I believe, a few episodes, but I thought he was fantastic and such an underrated actor. And him playing a new character that is so complex, I love where his story is going, and especially where he just wants to change the world. You really see that he wants to like take all the memories of other variants of himself and transfer all to one. But he finds out later that it's not what he expected, because it's dangerous to have all the knowledge of all the memories of yourself, because you're going to be confused and not knowing the difference of which memory is actually yours, because it's balled up all at once. And we see that the alternate version of Eggstrom, who's in the alternate reality, he remembers the reality where Omni-Man and Mark is teaming up and became conquerors. And he wants revenge. He wants revenge. And we know that at the end of the episode, he goes into the portal and we don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. I mean, I don't think this is going to be the last time we will see the alternate version of Mark and Omni-Man. And I'm so curious to see where Omni-Man have went. I mean, I'm guessing that he went to go back to his home planet, but I believe that we will see him at this point in this season, because right now we're only going to get 4 episodes and for the first half. And then in 2024, we're going to get in the second half of season 2. Where I think it's stupid. I think they should just have I just wish we have a full season that will drop week to week, but whatever. It is what it is. I love this episode. It was such a banger. I love that they have continued the struggle of the aftermath of what happened in season 1, and it did not disappoint, and it gets me more excited to where this is going to go. What did you think of of the first episode of season 2? Did it live up to your expectations and you blown away? Are you back on the Invincible love train, or were you disappointed by it and it did live up to your expectations? I would love to hear your feedback. Jump down in the comment section below and leave me your thoughts. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate your support, and subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. I cannot wait to talk about the upcoming episode of season 2 of Invincible. I loved it. This is something I just cannot not talk about. I want to talk about this because this is definitely my favorite superhero show on TV, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I love The Boys. I love these other shows like The Umbrella Academy and Peacemaker, and I like Superman and Lois, and the other animated show called The Adventures of Superman. But this is still the best, in my opinion. I love it so far. I can't wait for more. I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from. And if you want to follow my social media links, the link tree will be down in the description down below, and that's where you'll find my social media platforms there. Stay safe and take care.